Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a no-run-through review for Wolverine. Again, one of the newest heroes for Marvel Champions at this point in time. And, if you were to just randomly guess what you think Wolverine does and what his aspect is in this deck without knowing pretty much anything, you would most likely be right. And this is not a bad thing. I think Wolverine is a very, very fun character. He reminds me a little bit about the Hulk, where it's like, yeah, they're pretty one-note, but they're super fun to play. And Wolverine, like a lot of those other characters where it's like, yeah, they got one thing going for them, but they do that one thing really well. And like I said, I think that there's nothing like negative about that at all. It's just if you do like complex characters, Wolverine's not really it. But if you don't like complex characters and you like kind of the simpler ones, that it's just like, I just want to play a character that I like, here you go, Wolverine, and you are going to be probably the MVP. It's kind of like playing like Overwatch, and you just know those characters that's like, oh wow, Reaper got play of the game. Oh wow, Junkrat got play of the game, because they just have that play of the game material. Wolverine is definitely it. So let's take a look at some of his cards. He has, as his alter ego, Logan. He doesn't really have anything special about him. He just starts with his Wolverine's claws in play, and this is where the crux of his character comes in. These claws are super cool. They have the permanent keyword, meaning they can't be affected with in any way. And I'll explain what the claws do in a moment. But he has a 6 recovery, which is huge. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that's the highest I've seen, but then again, Hulk might actually have 6 recovery as well. I don't see that a lot. Like, no one's immediately popping to mind. Hand size of 6 and hit points of 10. I'm actually very surprised that he does have such a high hand size with how much damage he is able to put out. And then we flip him over and we get his super badass artwork. 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. The thwart and defense does not matter. It's all about the attack. He has healing factor, which is a response after the player phase begins. Heal 2 damage. Basically, he deals a lot of damage and he does not die, which is really, really cool. So, like I said, 10 health, and you might be thinking, well, I mean, 10 health is not a lot. You could just get one shot, pretty easily with that. Well, not if you give him Adamantium Skeleton, which is a 2-cost upgrade, and that gives you plus 4 hit points, meaning you are now at 14. And he gets plus 1 attack, and his basic attack is game piercing. So what's great about Wolverine is toughness does not matter. His Adamantium claws just sink right into them. And yeah, I mean, this is just a really good upgrade, especially because it only costs 2. And he gets plus 4 hit points. Now, well, let's just keep talking about the fact on what how he doesn't die. Like, so if so now he has 14 hit points. He does have another card in here called Regenerative Healing, and that is an action you can do, which is either heal 4 damage from your identity, or you can discard each stunned and confused status card from your identity, which is awesome. Like, there's not a whole lot of characters that allow you to remove status effects. I think Adam Warlock has a way of changing it to something, and I think a few other characters do. His just outright removes it, or if you really need to heal without swapping over to Logan, then that's one way of doing it. And then he has one called I Got Better, which is amazing. I don't know if that's something he actually says or if that's a play on Monty Python, but it's an interrupt. Cost 4, very, very expensive, but when you would be defeated by an enemy attack, instead set your hit point dial to 5, ready your identity, and discard this card. Well, what's cool about this is an upgrade. It's an interrupt, but you can set it out just in case, where it's like, I might die. Let me just prep this. It is kind of interesting because some cards and villains and stuff remove upgrades. It's like, well, did they just rip out my skeleton, or how'd they get rid of my I Got Better, like my regenerative healing, which is, okay, yeah, I guess. But, yeah, so just these 3 cards, I mean, this is an event that gets discarded, but these 3 cards alone, 14 health now, innate healing factor of healing 2, choosing to heal 4, and then not actually dying when you should die. I thought Adam Warlock was busted with his just deck cycling if you get Soul Eater. but you need that one card to keep him just as a infinite loop. There's multiples of these to where, yeah, like I never had to worry about health. In fact, I was fighting against one of the newer characters, Mojo, or new villain Mojo, and his whole thing was like, hey, like, you put a bunch of threat counters on your character. If you flip, then all those move to the main threat. Never had to flip. Why? I can always heal. So I was like, yeah, dude, this is kind of a blowout here. Anyway, so that is basically ways for him to heal. He does actually have, I think, other ways to heal. Yeah, outside of that, but this is kind of just his innate healing stuff. But a lot of most characters don't actually really do a whole lot about, like, focusing on their basic abilities, like thwart, attack, or defense. It's just kind of like, that's just what they are if you just have a backup plan. But his actually does. And also, a lot of his cards in his deck really are good with aggression, like Precision Strike. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, heal 2 damage from your hero. Well, that's really good. Some minions only have 2 health. If you're fighting against Ultron, the drones only have 1 health, so you can just quickly laser them, or in Wolverine's case, use your claw and destroy it, and then heal also. So if you can do that on top of his innate, you've already healed 4 damage. Then, like I said, he does a lot of stuff with his claws. Like, so his Wolverine's claws, which is really cool, and this is why he wants to take a lot of damage. Or not take a lot of damage, he doesn't want to. Why he can heal a lot of damage. And the Wolverine claws is exhaust Wolverine's claws, choose an attack event in your hand, and take damage equal to its printed cost. And you play that event for free. And that attack also gains piercing. A majority of that, I think, is going to be on this card, on Lunging Strike. This is his most damage dealing card out the gate. Deal 8 damage to an enemy. If you exhaust Wolverine's Claws to play this card, this attack gains Overkill. That's really cool. You can just beam right through a minion if it's causing you problems. So you would take 3 damage, which is good, because then if you can Precision Strike, kill a minion, then you heal 2 of that 3, and so on and so forth. So that's just an 8 damage out the gate card. And then, he has some other stuff where it's like he can deal his damage, like Berserker Barrage. Cost 2, deal 4 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats an enemy, you may take 2 damage, repeat this ability. So, I mean, that could be overall 8 damage. And what's great about Wolverine is some characters who do a lot of damage are kind of like focused 1-point damage. Like, okay, I'm going after this thing. I can do a lot of damage to this thing. Wolverine can do a lot of damage to this thing and everything else around him. I mean, Berserker Barrage is 4 damage. If you kill it, he'll take 2 damage yourself to do another 4 damage. So he can clear out higher level minions as well as lower level minions while also being able to do a bunch of damage to the villain, for example. Then he has cards, again, that are multi-damage called Slice and Dice. This could be another one that you might use Wolverine's Claws for because it costs 3, and that's make the following 2 attacks in order. Deal 3 damage to an enemy, deal 3 damage to an enemy. And it sounds like, okay, why is that in there? It's just because, like Aeon's End or something, where it's like, oh, deal 10 damage. Well, you can't split that up however you choose unless it states otherwise. This could be focused on 1 to deal 6, or you could do 3 and 3. I mean, in comboing that, like with Berserker Barrage, man, you could do quite a bit of damage. Like 4 damage to an enemy, then deal 2 damage to do another 4. It's like, okay, well, there were high-level minions in front of me, so I'll play Slice and Dice, do 7 each, or 7 total to, or not 7, 14 total to 1 enemy with both of those. It's pretty great because there's also these 4 basic cards that are in his deck, like Precision Strike, like Aggressive Energy. This is a aggression card. When you spend this card to play an attack event, that event deals 1 additional damage. Well, that's an attack event. Berserker Barrage is an attack event, so you can use this to have it deal 1 additional damage, which would make that, from 6 to 7 damage, but it's still like, hey, alright, that's a benefit. And then, like I said, he does have a few things that do focus on his attack. So right now he's at 2 attack, but with his adamantium skeleton, gives him 1, so he has 3 attack. He can play warrior skill, which has 3 counters on it, and when your hero attacks, you remove 1 to deal 1 additional damage, so that puts you at 4 innate attack, which is huge. And then, if you don't have any other type of event, you've used all these or something, and so you have your Wolverine's Claws, you can play Mean Swing. When your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust a weapon upgrade on your hero, that would be his Claws, to add +3 to that attack. So if you have warrior skill and your skeleton to play this, you would do 7 damage just with a basic attack, which is massive. Like, that's just almost unheard of. And then, like I said, he can do a lot of versatility when it's dealing with minions or focusing on the villain. And Battle Fury, one of his upgrades, is after your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero and discard Battle Fury to ready your hero. Which could be huge in the sense that, oh, okay, I have warrior skill and adamantium skeleton and mean swing, so I can attack and then do 7 damage, ready him again. If you had another mean swing, you could attack again, and that would be 14 damage just with your basic attack. Like I said, he's all about attack. That's what he does best, and all about not dying, which is awesome. Like 14 damage just from a basic, having him just use his claws. That's really, really cool. He does have a couple things, so you might be thinking, okay, well, you need someone to deal with threat, just because, I mean, killing the villain is, I mean, yeah, that's how you win the game, but if you're not dealing with threat, that's how I usually lose games. And he has a few, track by scent is remove 3 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from the scheme, draw 2 cards, which is really nice because he does not have a whole lot of card draw. So if you're able to kind of quickly get rid of a scheme, not the main scheme, because that's usually harder to completely clear off, but side schemes and stuff, that allows you to draw 2 cards, meaning he could be up to hand size of 7. I mean, chances are not because you have track by scent, but... And then one of his other condition upgrades is Berserker Frenzy, which is after Wolverine takes any amount of damage from an enemy attack, draw 1 card. And then this goes away after you flip to Alter Ego mode, which I found to be, you know, I never really felt the need to actually swap to Alter Ego mode, but it's definitely possible. I was just up against an enemy that doesn't attack a whole lot, or he's very weak. He does have one that is kind of cool with Colossus, which makes me think they're going to do Colossus as a hero, just because they have 2 team-up cards. So Colossus is an ally that reduce the cost to play Colossus by 1. He does 3 damage on attack, but he does start with toughness, so he basically gets a free attack. But with Colossus and Wolverine, you do have Fastball Special, which deal X damage to an enemy where X is the total attack of Colossus and Wolverine. This attack gains Overkill and Piercing, which is awesome, especially if you have buffed up his attack to be 3. I think deal X damage to an enemy where X is the total attack. Yeah, that would be 6, I think. 6 with Overkill and Piercing. I don't think that would count with warrior skill and stuff like that. I mean, granted, you could give him... Oh, it's one of those aggression cards. He doesn't have it in his deck, but it does increase your just innate attack. It's one of the basic ones that you kind of start with. That's like... I want to say training or something, but it's with the woman on it, and she's kind of like, yeah! That increases your attack by 1, so you could actually get him up to a 3. You could get him up to a 4 to have Fastball Special do 7 damage, which would be super badass. Yeah, like, again, I actually don't have any problem with Wolverine at all. Like, the fact that he has longevity, he's not just like, oh, I'm just going to blow my load at the very beginning and then I'm going to be weak as hell the rest of it. It's just he is consistently doing damage. If you're not getting the high level ones, like from his actual card, oh, that's not a problem. I can just basic attack and still kill things, which is very, very cool. So, he does have an Alter Ego card that is specifically, at least I thought it was, yeah, Logan's Cabin. Logan's Cabin is exhausted to shuffle 1 Wolverine card from your discard pile back into your deck. So there are some ways that you might want to go back to his Alter Ego just to be able to get like a lunging strike or something back into your deck. Alright. So let's see. Let's see what, how much damage I can do with him. I expect it to be insanely high. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. So, if we did... How much damage, how much health could I give him? Or how many cards? If he starts with 6... Let's say he already has... let's say he already has Adamantium Skeleton out. Any other upgrades? Yeah, we'll do Warrior Skill. Warrior! So he has 6. I guess I can do Track by Scent. And a... He also does luckily have, you know, Strength and Genius and stuff like that, so he is able to pay for those. So let's do these 2. So I'm going to try and remember this. Track by Scent with Strength, so that's 6. He took a damage, so he'll have 7 cards, so it's these 2, and then 5 more. So, Lunging Strike. I almost want to say if Colossus is out, that would be another good one. So, Fastball Special. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I do another 5? I almost want to do straight up. Yeah, he has Berserker Frenzy out, so that would give him his... That's where he's getting his 6. That's where he's getting his 7. Let's say Battle Fury is also out. I almost want to do it to where he's... to where he's... gonna be able to do multiple stuff with his basic attack. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Yeah. Okay. Because like, he doesn't get anything that allows him to like get resources, so he does have to rely on his cards. Okay. So, if we did these 2, if we did Track by Scent and Strength, let's say that gets rid of a side scheme, that means I would get to draw 2 cards. But I guess that also wouldn't matter. Oh yeah, because then that would allow him to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he goes back to 7. So I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot if those are the 2 cards that I have. So, if he's at 1, 2, 3... That would be 4. Oh, Mean Swing isn't going to be able to do it twice because I can't exhaust the Wolverine's claws. Okay. So 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And... yeah, let's do 7. Alright. Yeah. So, if I... Okay, so I do Wolverine's Claws, obviously, to play Lunging Strike. That's going to be 8 damage. 8, then... Oh yeah, because then Mean Swing really isn't going to do anything. 8. Then I play Fastball Special, or I play Mean Swing to do Fastball Special. Because Colossus is out, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 14 damage there. Wolverine's Claws would be exhausted. So 14 damage there. Then we do Energy and Aggressive Energy to play Slice and Dice. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 21 damage. Yeah, 21 damage. And then... could I... yeah. Yeah, so 21 damage, then I attack with Wolverine. That's 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Warrior Skill 4. So 4 damage. That's 25 damage. Then I deal myself a damage with Battle Fury, which gets rid of that, which readies him. And then I attack again. That would be 28 damage. 28, attack with Colossus, 29, 30, 31. 31 damage, and he does not have any other weapon, because a mean swing could come in handy if I had any other weapon weapon upgrade, but I think, yeah, his claws are the only thing that he gets. Yeah, if he had a way of getting Jubilee in, which is another one, I have no idea who that is, but after Jubilee enters play, choose an enemy until the end of the phase while Wolverine or Jubilee is making a basic attack against that enemy. They get +2 attack for that. Which, I mean, so if he's at 31 and if I could hold on to one more card, which I feel like there is a way, could play Genius to bring in Jubilee. Which shoots the villain, so then based off of the 2 attacks I got, that would be another 4 damage, which would be 35, 36, 37, 38. So that's 38 damage, that potentially 38 damage that I'd be able to muster up if everything there is correct, which it probably isn't, but this is all off the top of my head anyway. So roughly 38 damage, which is, again, insane. And that's also, to be able to ready him with Battle Fury, his basic attack would have had to kill a minion. So it's like 38 damage encompassing attacking minions to be able to ready and then attacking the villain. Doesn't matter anyway, 38 damage wipes the floor with anything. And yeah, that is Wolverine basically in a nutshell. I think he's a blast. What's really, really cool about him against other characters is he's not like... I mean, obviously every character is relying on cards. It's a deck-building game after all. But he doesn't... Like Hawkeye, for example, had ways to do super cool things, but once he ran out of arrows, he sucked. Once War Machine or Venom ran out of bullets or something, then it's kind of like, oh crap, gotta get these back. But he doesn't have any of that. If you run out of his high-end damage cards, then it's like, okay, well, I still have my claws, and I still have... Like, I'm not worried about taking damage because I have ways to heal. His deck is just extremely balanced. Yeah, he's doing one thing, well, technically 2 if you count the healing, which is also in and of itself really awesome. Just the fact that he can rely on his actual basic stats on top of his really high powerful cards, and he can kill minions and do a lot of damage to the villain. Yeah, Wolverine's a powerhouse. He's like, if you just want to really whoop on some ass, then Wolverine will do it. I think I'm going to give him, for my personal taste, I'm going to give him an 8. 8 out of 10. He's still doing a bunch of combos, which is really cool. Like, this is like, it's not as straightforward. It's like you still have to have a lot of things go right to be able to do a lot of damage output. So he's not just like, play one card, that's 15 damage. You know, he's not like that. But still, I do like my characters to be a little bit more, I guess, complex, which not every character in Marvel Champions is like I'm not sitting there burning my brain to try and figure out how to play any of them, but some are harder to play than others. Wolverine is still, like, amazing. He's so much fun. So, 8 out of 10 for Wolverine. And that's my thoughts on him. Let me know what you think of Wolverine in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.